you in Fresno right now?
No, I live in Las Vegas actually. My largest company is in Fresno. But
Okay. And
yeah.
what are you doing exactly in Las Vegas?
Just hanging out at home. This is where I work. This is my home office here. And yeah.
So I believe we met 1.5 years ago, or maybe 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, about two
We
years
moved
ago.
before we moved to Service Titan.
Yeah. Well, I still worked for Service Titan at that time. I started working at Service Titan in January 2020. So it's been almost 5 years.
Okay.
Um, and I went to the office to meet you though, and saw you at my Fresno office at Lee's. I actually lived in Southern California at that time.
I believe in
Um,
Los Angeles last time you lived.
yeah. And
Okay.
now I moved in January of 2023 to Las Vegas.
Okay. And what's the company called you're running there?
Well, at the time I owned Fetch Tech in Las Vegas, and we sold that to Service Champions. And now I am buying two more companies in Las Vegas.
Okay.
My non-compete has expired out here. It expired a while ago. And so I'm buying two more. Hopefully it's closing in the next couple days. Um,
Okay. Okay. Don't go so further. So tell about yourself. So so you born in the United States, right?
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
because this is very important part.
Yeah.
All right.
I know a
So
lot of the people that listen to your stuff are
yeah,
um
and what did you do? Like, did you learn somewhere, or
yeah.
where
So
where
I
did you grow?
I started in the trades when I was about 15 years old. I got a job cleaning trucks and sweeping floors for a air conditioning company that was about um, 3 miles from my house, so I could ride my bicycle to work, and I'd go after school and I'd work on the weekends and after school, and I learned the trades there, and from there I got a install helper job and then a basic service job, and then I got into sales, and then eventually I did go to college for finance.
Hmm.
And when I got out, I told the air conditioning owner that I wanted to, you know, go to business school so I never had to do air conditioning ever again. Um, and then I got out and got into finance.
It didn't work out, right?
No, I got into finance and I absolutely hated it. I felt like I was just doing paperwork all day, every day, at a desk. And so I got out and I came back and took a GM job, a general manager position for a company in California called Lee's Accutech Service Inc. that I
Mhm.
actually worked for before college. So they knew me. And from there, I ended up buying out that company. And at the time, it was a couple million in sales. It was,
That company, the in Fresno.
yeah. And so that's my largest one right now.
So you worked there. So did you born what the city it was?
Um, I was born in Indiana. I've lived in 11 states and three
Okay.
countries. So I've moved around a lot.
All right.
So you guys are Russian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I lived in Hungary for a couple of years. I speak Hungarian. I lived in Armenia for a little while. I speak a little tiny bit of Armenian. Um, enough to like get a taxi, get to my house, whatever. Then yeah. Um, I've lived in Alaska and now I'm buying a house in Hawaii because my kids are there. Um, I lived all over the US, California, Texas, Pennsylvania, Michigan, lots of places.
But where is a better living in the United States by your opinion?
Uh, every place has good sides and bad sides. Alaska was fun, mostly for the men. Like
Hmm.
men, we liked being up there and hanging out, but at least my wife at the time did not like living there. So we moved back. It was cold. I like the fishing and the hunting and that kind of stuff in Alaska. Hawaii's great. My ex-wife now, she loves Hawaii. I'll
Hmm.
I'll go there and it's warm and nice and fun for vacation, but after about a week I want to get back and, get to work. So it's just everything has upsides and downsides. Vegas is great. I mean, Vegas, I can go out to a five-star restaurant every week for a
Hmm.
year and not hit the same one. They're just everywhere. And so
Yeah,
that's fun too.
yeah, because I 4 months ago bought the house in Las Vegas as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
and
cool.
I'm resident officially. I'm resident of the Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I have a driver license and I'm paying salary myself without state income tax of California.
Yeah.
So this is the greatest part of the being Nevada resident.
Yeah. For me, like I will get audited no matter what. So I have to make sure that I'm always completely legitimately a resident. So I
Mhm.
have to track all the time that I go to California, how long I stay there, what flight I took, when I came back.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't have any house of any kind in California. Well, I have rental properties, but they're fully rented out and I get monthly income on that.
Hmm.
But yeah, this is my primary residence is here. I live here. My kids went to school here. Now they go to school in Hawaii, so I have to go to Hawaii every month to visit them. So,
Okay, not bad place to visit.
no,
Which island? Oahu,
Kauai.
Kauai. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like a backwoods island. There's like chickens running around in the street all the time and
Yeah, yeah, I know.
like farmland.
So, how many kids you have?
I've got four kids, ages 5 to 14.
Okay, gotcha. All right. I have only three for this moment.
Yeah.
And how old are you right now?
I'm 41.
41. Okay, 3 years difference. Okay, I have a time for fourth kid for this moment. All right, Tom. Uh, so you are HVAC contractor.
Yep.
In what states?
Just California and Nevada.
Okay,
So most of my companies, I own companies in Sacramento, Fresno, Visalia, and Los Angeles. Well, and then I have partnerships in Beverly Hills, another one in Los Angeles, and San Diego.
so how can you sustain that much companies running together by your own, or how it works actually?
Yeah, they're all large enough that they can have their own general managers and management teams, and then I can oversee them. All the financials roll up to me, and I work with their management teams regularly. I have
Hmm.
one-on-ones with the managers every week, and it works out quite well. So my largest company this year will do about 100 million in revenue.
Oh shoot,
Um,
is
my
this in Fresno?
Yeah, so that's well, all of them are branded as Lee's. So Sacramento, Fresno,
Hmm.
Visalia,
Yeah, yeah.
Los Angeles, and then Vegas, Las Vegas will all be that one company.
So it's gonna
Um,
be the in Las Vegas. It's gonna be the lease as well.
yeah,
All right.
all one brand, all one set of financials, all one Service Titan account. It's all one.
Mm-hmm.
So those ones all have managers. All those locations have managers, and it runs on its own mostly. I just have to give it input. Um, the one that I'm a small partner in is in Beverly Hills is called Brody Pinnell, and that one will do about 50 million in revenue, maybe 60. Um, and I actually have, oh, I forgot. I own a company in Australia called
Almost forgot.
yeah, it's called Home First. That'll do about 20 million in revenue. I
Okay.
own that with Tommy Mello from A1 Garage Door.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and then I have other investments and other stuff, but yeah.
So you kind of pretty busy for this purpose thing. And how do you handle all of these things? It's just like
Well, it it's hard because I also have a full-time job at Service Titan. So
I believe so. Yeah. Do
yeah,
you ever sleep?
now
No.
but people ask me all the time, um, when is enough enough and when are you going to stop? And I laugh and I say, well, it was my ex-father-in-law asked me that, and he loves to surf. And I said, well, when are you going to stop surfing? He said, well, I hope I never have to stop surfing. I love it, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not work. It's just fun. And I said, well, exactly. That's why I'm never going to stop in business. It's fun for me. I really enjoy it. And so it's like playing a game.
Yeah.
And I spent a lot of time studying leadership and management and things like that, so that I'm able to be good enough to manage that many companies.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot that goes into that, being an air conditioning technician or being a plumber is very different than being able to run a company. They're two different skill sets. And so I
Company and
learned
companies.
in companies, yeah.
Yeah.
I learned the skill set of being an air conditioning technician when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have to learn the skill set of operating companies. And so as long as I see them as two separate things, it helps. And so I spent a lot of time learning, and I have executive coaches that help me guide me on what I should do in my business to grow and what I should do in my business to manage all the people. And then I still to this day I read at least five business books a year, sometimes 10. And I set goals and I write them down, and I it's usually about 40 to 50 goals for the year, and I put them on my mirror in my bathroom. And then when I complete one, I go mark it off on the um on that piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep them every year. And then I have a journal. I've been doing it since 2010. I take that piece of paper off my mirror and I mark down what percentage that I completed,
Yeah.
and I put it into that journal. And then that way every year I can see what goals I had, what my net worth was, what my growth rate was, what all that stuff was during those times. And it's really helped me grow and develop as a person. I have all the business books I read are written down on that paper. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Are you going to write your own book?
Yeah, it's coming out in January. So
Oh,
I
cool.
wrote a couple books. So this one,
Mm-hmm.
I'm, I'm actually proofreading it right now. I was supposed to submit the final edits on Friday. We have
Mm-hmm.
a publisher that edited and sent it back to me and asking for final revisions. So I'll submit it today, but that book will be published probably in late January. And so a couple of months.
Okay.
And it's about how I did the Fetch a Tech deal. So Fetch a Tech was a company in Las Vegas. I bought it for $0. And in 1 year, we got it to 6 million in profit. And I can't say publicly the number we sold it for, but it was more than 10 times profit. So it was more than $60 million.
Oh shit. Okay.
And it was only in 1 year. So I owned it actually 16 months from the time we bought it to the time we sold it. And now we bought it for zero and sold it for that much. Um, I was I only owned 26% in the end because we gave equity to everyone in the
Mm-hmm.
company, but still it was 26% of a large number is pretty good.
So can you answer the question? So the lease company, which is the biggest company you own, so is this like a 100% your ownership or with someone else?
No, so when I did a lot of those acquisitions,
Mm-hmm.
they rolled equity into my company. And so I have a lot of partners in that company. I'm the largest shareholder,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't own all of it.
Mm-hmm.
So this year we should do about 17 to 18 million dollars in EBITDA,
Mm-hmm.
$100 million in revenue. Next year, I believe we're going to do about $140 million of revenue and approximately 28 to 30 million in EBITDA.
Mm-hmm.
And I own, by the time all of these acquisitions are done, which should be in the next couple of days, I got two last acquisitions that just the paperwork's almost completed. Those are the two in Vegas. Um, I'll be 44% owner of the company, 45.
Cool.
Right now I'm sitting at about 52, 53%. So this last acquisition is going to put me below the 50% mark, which is kind of scary, but
Why
fine.
not?
If we're planning on selling it next year. So I'm hoping that, we can get 14, 15, 16 times EBITDA times $30 million.
So
Uh,
do you call yourself like a short term HVAC owner?
Well, this one, some are long term, some are short term. Like Lee's, I've owned that since 2012.
Mm-hmm.
That's been 12 years.
Yeah.
And it was a long road because back then I didn't know when I first got into business, I couldn't grow the companies that quickly. I didn't know how to do it. It took
And
me,
and
we went,
what changed you? Why did you decide like to make it multiply?
well,
When did you turn the multiplier?
oh, I always wanted to go fast, but
You
I didn't know
wanted, but you
how.
didn't, right?
Yeah, I couldn't. I didn't know how. So once I learned how, everything got faster. So my first company, Lee's, it was 1.6 million in revenue, and we took it to 3 million in revenue. That took me 5 years to get there. Now, from 3 million to 100 million has taken me another 6 years, 7 years. So it started going much, much faster. Um, and I mean, this next year, I think I'll go from 100 to 140 in 1 year. And we've have roughly a 40% growth rate from organic growth rate. Um, the
Every
acquisitions
year?
help add extra revenue, but we
Oh,
have a
okay,
40%
okay.
growth rate year over year
Mhm.
without it. So for about, yeah, it'll be almost
So
10 years now of that
do
rate.
you like expanding your company to the like Sacramento to the other places by buying another companies, or you just expanding?
Um, I bought a company in Sacramento. It was 1.1 million of revenue,
Mm-hmm.
and now we expanded to 6 million of revenue. So there is some organic growth there.
Mm-hmm.
I bought the company at first to just get in there to make it faster and have some calls coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's been it's been good.
And how do you decide to buy these companies? Like, did they have like kind of the history of the company? How old they should be to consider to buy?
Hold on just one second. Let me shut the door.
Yeah, yeah.
Nate is cleaning. So on those, I look for a few things. I is honestly in most of these companies that are small,
Mm-hmm.
I just need call volume. So if they have call volume, I don't care about what their financials are that much if I'm not paying a lot for them
Mm-hmm.
because I can go fix the financials. Um, so I just need to make sure they have the calls and then I need to make sure I price it right. So what I look for is what is my cost of customer acquisition through marketing?
Mm-hmm.
And then if I'm buying a company, how much is it? How many calls do they have coming in and how much would I have spent in marketing to get it?
So this thing, did you learn from Ken
Yeah, so Ken
or
and I go way
yeah?
back,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean that's a standard business principle.
Mm-hmm.
Ken has some really good ideas on how he values that call and how he estimates. Um, the business principle is that whether you buy the business from someone or you spend money on marketing, it's just customer acquisition. That's the business principle, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What Ken does, because he knows this industry so well, is he figures out he can look at a company with his experience and say, look, this is how many calls I think I will get after I buy it based on how many are there now. And he'll literally cut that call volume in half. But then his experience also shows, which I did learn a lot from him, is look, now I can apply um, my average ticket and my call booking rate and everything else on top of it and figure out even if I have half the calls, I could probably generate equal to or greater revenue than they generated, even
Mm-hmm.
though half the people aren't going to come in because I just bought the company and it changed hands. My personal experience is we've retained about 80 to 85% of the customers that the previous company had,
Yeah, yeah.
even if we're more expensive. We just let them know and that kind of thing. Ken says 50%, but then he wants to retain 60, 70, 80, and then he makes sure that all that extra that he gets is profit, which makes a lot of sense.
Okay. And yeah, because why did you decide to like to move to the social media? Because we talked about it like 2 years ago, and I was mentioning I'm running a YouTube channel, and it helps very much for the business to attract more people to the business, more best employees, more like
Yeah.
talented people. So what's the deal? What's the Howard deal on this?
Yeah. So my social media doesn't attract employees to the company because it's just about, I'm not looking, like in your case, you have people joining you in like a franchise kind of model and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't do that. Um, Additionally, I don't think any of my employees know about any of my social media stuff. The reason I did it was because I started realizing that I have to have something better in life. I recently got a divorce last December, so it's been about a year. And I, you know, just gave out almost all my money at that point during the divorce to say, hey, just go away, like take whatever you want. And then I started rebuilding it back over the past year. And so now I have, a decent amount that I can rely on in my account. And I realized that next year I'll be selling leads. And if we hit 30 million of EBITDA and we get 15x, that's $450 million. So that would mean 200 million plus to me. Um, and I will have to give I won't have to give a lot of that to my ex. I still owe my ex some money, but I'll still have a lot left over and enough that I don't have to work. Um, and honestly, I have enough right now that I don't really have to work. And I don't have to work at Service Titan. I don't have to work at my companies. Um, but two things. One, at Service Titan, I work at Service Titan because I get the opportunity to affect 14,000 customers,
Mm-hmm.
14,000 contractors. And when I was growing up, contractors were not seen as good people. They were seen as like second-rate citizens and not, the top of the country. And so I've spent my time thinking, I'm really going to change that mentality. I'm going to do everything I can to change that mentality. 15 years ago, before ServiceTitan existed, the technology, including iPhones and iPads and ServiceTitan and all that stuff, didn't exist. And so it was very hard to run a company that was larger than about 20 million in revenue. Now, if you're 20 million in revenue, you're seen as like a mid-market company. Um, and a lot of contractors and a lot of technicians have been making more and more money partly because technology has enabled strong companies to get stronger.
Yep.
And at my company now, we offer college tuition, 401ks, all the medical, dental, and vision benefits, great wages. I have a lot of technicians making over $300,000 a year, $500,000 a year. I have one that's going to make over $1 million in personal income this year. And that's because of technology and growing it and making it possible for us as a company to offer those things. Now we have to do our part as a company to be strong, but the technology gives us the tools we need to get there. When I do social media stuff, I'm also realizing, hey, if I go help a company, let's say I go to your company and help out for a day, that helps one company. If
Yep.
I can start talking to contractors about it online and explain to them how I did these things, then they can grow their business too. This book that I'm writing,
Mm-hmm.
100% of the net proceeds is going straight to charity. I don't need the money.
Yeah.
If you look at that company, I made tens of millions of dollars in 1 year off of my side project. Like I'm not trying to brag. It's just, I don't need the damn money. I have more money, especially if I sell leads this year, I'll have more money than I'll ever be able to spend in my entire lifetime. And I'm not giving the money to my kids. I told my kids, you need to earn your own money. I don't want to raise a generation of slackers and lazy people.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This money is going somewhere else. And so if I can't spend my own money and I'm not giving it to my kids, what's the point of making more money? So I just decided, but I need something. I realized as I'm getting there and selling my company, I need something else to get me excited and something else to drive me. And what I realized is that, hey, the stuff I'm doing at Service Titan makes a huge difference in contractors' lives. The stuff I'm doing on social media makes a difference in people's lives. The stuff I'm doing when I get on stage and speak at events makes a difference. I had one guy at Tommy Mello's conference. He got up on stage. Tommy brought him up, and I didn't know that he was bringing him up. His name is Paul Wise. And Paul Wise was almost in tears. He's a garage door company. And he said, look, like I was a small company. I couldn't make any money. And Tom Howard gave me a spreadsheet that showed me how to do my pricing and everything else. and he was drinking a lot too. He was an alcoholic, and I had told him to stop drinking, and I gave him a spreadsheet to help him price out his business. He stopped drinking. He's been sober now for almost 2 years, or a year and a half. He grew his business. He's at 7 million in revenue now, and he's turning 40% profit. And so he's going to do almost $3 million in profit in personal income this year. And it's changed his life and his family's life forever. And that's why I do the social media stuff. That's why I do the speaking. That's why I do, I'm writing the book. The book will make no money. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter to
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah, for sure. All right. So you change your mission to the from the kind of be entrepreneur to the
Yeah.
mission to the missionary, right? To the help entrepreneurs
Yeah.
to
I
grow
just,
their own businesses.
I still will be an entrepreneur and I will still grow businesses. And it's because what I have fun doing it.
Hmm.
But I, on the last business I sold, I made a scholarship fund for people that are going to want to go into finance and don't have the money.
Hmm.
So it pays a scholarship to Brigham Young University where I graduated every year in perpetuity. I just funded that. I'm gonna do something like that again when this company sells. I yeah, I'm gonna write books about how to do this stuff. I'm gonna tell people about how to do it. And people are very skeptical of it.
Hmm.
I had a conference at my house last week and they said, why does Tom work at Service Titan if he has this money? And they said, well, one of my friends said, well, he wants to help people and help contractors. And they said, no, that can't be it. I'm like, well, it's really true. People are going to find out. Like, I just, if they know me, my most expensive car I have is like $100,000. I don't go buy like Ferraris or Lamborghinis or Rolls Royces. Although I do think I want a Rolls Royce one day. But I don't need the flashy car. I have a nice house. I really always want a nice house, but that's pretty much it. It's all, I have everything I want and need. So now it's time to start doing things, that gets me excited about helping other people.
So you kind of brought yourself to the as a wise guy in your 41 years old, or
Try to.
okay.
I'm trying to. Yeah.
So and the howarddeals.com, what is this like just about your deals going on?
Yeah, it's how I did them because people ask me when I'm at conferences, they say, hey, can you just tell me how you bought this company, how you bought that company? It's like, well, it's a long story.
Yeah.
So I realized I'll just write up articles about how I did it and post them online. And I can tell people go to howarddeals.com and there's articles there. Like Ken Goodrich has done way more deals than I have, and he comes up with great ideas. And so we um, sat in my house and recorded him talking about them, and we put it on Howard
Yeah,
Deals.
yeah. I watched this podcast and I
Yeah.
like enjoyed it. I'm like, what the hell these people are?
Yeah. I'm trying to like tell people how to do it, you know.
Because after I
Um,
watched this video, actually, we decided to buy one bankruptcy HVAC contractor in San Jose.
oh, sweet.
And
That's cool.
next week we're gonna have a deal from the court. They're gonna decide will they sell us their intellectual, like a Yelp page, two phone numbers, and a web page, like a domain and hosting, I believe,
Oh,
for
great.
$58,000.
Oh, that's sweet.
And this is a
Perfect.
12 years old company. No, it's actually 14 years old company with 580 reviews.
Oh, sweet.
And it's like, why not?
Yeah,
And there is no other kind of bidders or whatever.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Congratulations. That's perfect. Like that's the kind of stuff that I want to do. If I post that stuff online, like thousands of people can see it, and they already have,
yeah.
and they can just copy it and do it. And that's how I learned. I mean, I'm very grateful for all the contractors that let me into their businesses to watch what they did and how they did it.
Because
It allowed me to grow mine.
yeah, because what the uh, Ken says, like a lot of people know about it, but just a few use it. Like
Yeah.
it's like even the worst scenario of the rule 90 to 10. So 100% will listen, 10 maybe will use, but this kind of scenario can use just like maybe 2-3% or even less. because it's
Yeah.
like it's need to put a lot of work for this process.
It's all about the people that execute.
Yeah.
So
Can you tell me about what do you think about my model, which we're trying to make in franchise? Because for this moment, I've sold 45 locations in the United States, and I will not say it is doing very well, in my opinion. Sometimes it's doing, I mean, it depends on the HVAC owners.
yeah.
And one of the perspective what we're doing this podcast today, just to show uh, to the people how actually can HVAC or electrical plumbing business do in the United States if you will apply the knowledge, effort, and just
Yeah. I think, well, we only have a couple minutes left on this meeting
yeah,
because we have 6 minutes left until it just stops. So
yeah,
I'll make this quick. First of all, from the franchise model, I mean, the
yeah,
franchise model can be very good for some people, but just like I said earlier on about Service Titan and iPads and iPhones and all the technology that we have today that
mm-hmm,
helps us be great contractors. There's 2.3 million home service companies in the United States. And there's only about 20,000 of them that have cleared the, 20 million or $10 million mark. So it's really like a tenth of a percent. It's like very, very small that get to that size. And they all have access to iPhones and iPads and Service Titan and everything else to help them get their business where they want. But like you said, it's about the people that execute.
yep,
Um, what Ken said about acquiring companies, it's all about the people that actually go out and do it. Um, Same thing in business. You can have the best franchise model in the world and you can have a great franchise with all the right tools. But if you don't take your business seriously as a franchisee and you don't work hard and push and grow your company, it doesn't matter what franchise you're in. You're not going to succeed.
yep,
And so I haven't gotten into the franchise model because one, there's uh, I tip my hat to you in the sense that it's a lot of legal paperwork and rules
absolutely,
about what you can and
yeah,
can't do and market sizing and all that other stuff, separating market share. It's just not something I'm good at. Ellen Rohr, on the other hand, from Zoom Drain, she
mm-hmm,
had she was the president of the largest plumbing franchise in the country. It was Ben Franklin
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah, I know,
Plumbing. And then she got into Zoom Drain and got that going. And now they have like 30 or 40 locations. And um, she's really good at that. She works with me now. Um, and I'm not a franchise guy. So at some point I'll learn to get into that maybe. Um, I I like my model where I go in and buy them and hold them and grow them and that kind of thing for
mm-hmm,
myself. Um, but yeah, I think if to all the franchisees out there, it's that, hey, you have to take your business seriously. You can't say you're gonna get going and sign up with a franchise and just expect it to just make money automatically. Um, it's a lot of hard work, and you need to, focus to have success.
okay. Um, So, do you know about the Praxis S10,
Yes.
Nextstar?
Yeah.
This is kind of communities.
Yeah, they're all partners with Service Titans. So Service Nation, Praxis S10, Nextstar, BDR. There's I'm missing a bunch of them, but they're Service Titan partners, and they have communities there that help them uh, get best practices in the trades. They also have buying groups that allow you to get a little bit cheaper pricing
Mhm.
or rebates, and it's helpful. So
Are you going to make something like this to help people, or
I don't think so. Um, it's I haven't thought about it.
a lot of work?
No, I mean they're really. I think that the stuff that I put out there can help those people in those places, and they can use my content. I
Hmm.
think a lot of those are all businesses to make more money, and it's just not a business that I want to get into.
Hmm.
I like making money and contracting and fixing things and that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Maybe one day I might get into like being a best practices group or something, but it's not, it doesn't excite me that much.
Okay.
Um,
So we have a 2 minutes warning.
yes.
Okay. So Tom, tell me, so you're living constantly right now in Las Vegas.
Yep.
May I see you one day over there?
Yeah,
And
just
you,
text me. Yeah, my
yeah, I have your phone number.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, my phone number. Just text me when you're on the way and or when you're coming, and I'll let you know if I'm here.
All right.
I fly back and forth to Hawaii a lot to see my kids, but then I have speeches I have to give for Service Titan at
Mhm.
different conferences. But yeah, if you let me know ahead of time, I can let you know if I'm here, and more
Yeah,
than
yeah,
happy
sure.
to let you come over and hang out at my house, and yeah, we'll have some fun.
All right.
All
Sounds good.
right.
Okay, I believe that's enough for today. All right.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be